Okay, what we have here is a tilapia farm in my basement. It's only 1,000 gallons, and there's only a couple hundred fish. You can see, as soon as I throw them a handful of food, they get right in there and start going crazy. I originally put in about 200 fish and had about 10% loss. This is a standard Intex swimming pool, excuse me. We've got trickle filters here that are filled with growing media, filter media, biological filter media. I'm also considering putting in a K1 moving bed filter, but for right now, the ammonia load, I've been checking it frequently and it's just fine with just these two little trickle filters. And then in the back corner here, I set up a sand filter that's actually filled with biological filtration material that acts as a nice filter in terms of keeping the ammonia levels down, and then it also filters out the particulates, not to a small micron size, but on the larger side. And then ultimately, when it reaches a certain back pressure, I go in and I backwash the system, at the top, basically just switching it around and then draining it out into our floor drain. Now this has a pretty heavy-duty pump on the hull for this size pool. You could probably use the same pump for 2 to 3 size the swimming pool. Again, you can see in here we have tilapia. The tilapia are, when I first put them in, they were just a little bigger than 1/8 of an inch long. They were just little fry. And now they're anywhere between 2 and 4 inches long, so they're a pretty good size. It's going to take them about 6 months to get full size, and ultimately my goal is in this system to have about in the neighborhood of about 500 pounds of fish and 1,000 gallons of water. Now the way I have it set up right now, I couldn't do that because even though you can see the bubbling action from all the different oxygenators in the water, it's still not enough to keep the dissolved oxygen levels high enough to support that high density of fish. Same with the filtration system. Now you can see here I've got the actual water temp is a little low right now. It's only it's around 76, 77 degrees. I try to keep it in the neighborhood of around 85. The reason it's low is because I just did a partial water change. Now what I'm using for heaters for this system, because I'm trying to keep this on a budget, is I'm actually using aquarium heaters that you can see here. An example, they're just simple aquarium heaters, old ones I had laying around, and I'm using them just to keep the water temp reasonably warm. Now because this is in my basement and the air temp is about 60 degrees, it does take quite a bit of juice to heat this sucker up. For about every 1,000 gallons of water, you can expect to use about 1,000 kilowatts of power, 1 kilowatt or 1,000 watts of power to keep it at a temperature in the 83 to 85 zone. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. Now over here you can see the air pump I'm using. I actually have kind of a larger 70 liter per minute unit because I really want to keep this water nice and oxygenated. And one of the things that I've discovered is over time the bubble rod you can see there isn't even really working, whereas the standard blue air stones down here in the corner, they're bubbling up fairly well. I also had a bubble disc, which you can see here, an 8-inch bubble disc, and that's lost about 70-80% capacity in the past 2 months. So it seems like that's not going to really be a good bet in the long run. Anyways, as far as the ammonia levels, the nitrite levels, and all the other factors, everything looks pretty good and has been pretty stable ever since I started. So we're going to keep playing this out and see how everything progresses. Thanks for watching.